So I got to know, I mean, moving merch, I really like the name. I think a cool name makes a creator. You know, I'm proud
Sure.
of my name. I think it's a clever name. Is there a meaning behind moving
Of
merch?
course. Of course there is. So merch is like in like, I don't know if you guys call it that, but like when we get in like certain cars, it's like, oh, it's fresh merch. Like it's merchandise, right? So the whole thing behind it is like moving merchandise. It's like I'm moving cars, and moving is like a millennial like slang of like, oh, I'm moving it, like I'm selling it, right? So
Yeah.
usually used in other categories of life, but for this, it's moving in car sales. So
Do you have to explain that often? Because honestly, where I'm from, merch is like typically like a clothing line. Like,
yeah,
oh, someone
like
so and so
sometimes I
drops some new merch.
do. Some people don't understand it. There's been more people that don't understand it than do understand it, but I just give them I spit off the same spiel every time. So what you heard was the already programmed wording of my explanation.
But I go through it all the time. You know, RussFlipsWhips. It's like they're like, "What's
I
that
get
mean?"
it.
I'm Russ, and to flip something means to like take it
Yeah,
in and resell it. And whip is slang for a car, which like people
sure.
over 50 do not. They're just not.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah.
So how long you been doing the social media for, man? I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't even know who you were, just totally
Yeah.
truthful. And then I did a top 5 list of just my
Yeah.
personal favorite creators, and
Yeah.
every comment said I missed you,
Yeah.
and they were right. You should be on my top 5. I really like the stuff you put out.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
That was like a month ago. I started following you, maybe a month and a half ago,
Yeah.
and I really like your content. You do a lot of cool cars, a lot of cool situations. It's really raw. It's not like, you're trying to put on a show. It's just you being you in your day-to-day life, which I love that type of content.
Yeah. So, dude, funny enough, I'd actually known who you were prior to like I had seen you on my personal account. I have like a personal account, obviously. And I'd seen you on that prior, believe it or not. But I had started, bro, like I probably did I'll tell you when, last February, last March is when I started taking it seriously. But I had been at school, so I was at college, and so I didn't have access to film at the dealership because when I was at school, I was doing school, but I was also one of the buyers. But I couldn't really sell and be hands-on with the inventory. So that's when I did it. That's when I really started doing it. I was posting 3 times a day, bro. I always tell people this story. 3 times a day, and I didn't miss a single day for like 98 days. And it's just so, and I had gained like no traction because all I was doing was like Facebook Marketplace listing reviews and like car news, but it was just something to get out there. And then right when I got back is when I started taking it serious, and like June 1st, June 2nd, I was like, we're doing some serious stuff now.
Yeah, and I think posting a lot too, even if it's not the highest of quality of content, it builds habit. You know, I always say, like, if you want to start going to the gym, I'll tell people you should go and do nothing. Like, just get used to going. You know what I mean? And you got so used to posting that if you didn't post, like, I don't know, you said 98 days straight, so I don't know, maybe 100 days in, you miss a day, and you're like, I just feel like a piece of crap.
It felt dirty, bro. I felt like I needed to take a shower, dude. For like, it just like did not feel right, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I just broke this streak too. I'm just like, it sucked. But yeah, dude, it was intense. Now a lot of the stuff now I do is like a little higher production quality, but I edit all my videos, and I do everything with them. The only thing I do differently now is I hired a camera guy.
Yeah. What is remind me one more time the name of your car dealership?
Yeah, Earth Motor Cars, and then we're a Lotus franchise as well.
Okay, and what is your job title position there with the dealer group?
Man, it's like sales. It's also buying. I'm one of the corporate buyers there, and then I say it's a little bit of everything. But I I'll help people with turns and stuff like that, and we'll do sometimes if it's just a cash pencil, trade appraisals, just purchase units. Just pretty much everything. I can't really make top dog decisions, if that makes sense. But other than that, it's like a little bit of everything.
And are you just an employee or are you like related to ownership?
Related to ownership, yeah.
And how are you?
That's something I always keep very. It lowers my credibility, I think, and other people beg to differ. But I just think that, like, I think people think that I'm on a silver spoon if it's the other way around. Which, of course, there's advantages of it, right?
Yeah.
But staying to the dealership an hour past close to live stream makes sense. But yeah, I keep it low key.
Yeah, but I think that's what's cool about social media is you're able to put the
Yeah.
work in
Yeah.
and show the work you're doing. So like if I had never met you before and I bumped into you at NADA, I find out
Yeah.
like you're like related to the owner and you're telling
Yeah.
this talking this big game. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's just related to the owner, but like I
Yeah.
see the work you put in and it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't change how I think
Appreciate
about
that. Yeah.
you. I mean,
Yeah.
the way you talk about cars, the way you pencil deals, the way you
Sure.
talk to customers and close deals, it's like,
Yeah.
or you just happen to be bored into something.
Right. Absolutely.
So with that being said, I want to get your take on this because I kind of struggled with this in the beginning of my owner group. I'm not related in any way, but very close friends. You might as well be related to the owners
Hmm.
because of the family relationship. They were not on board with social media for like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
good bit of it. I mean, it was, what were the struggles you were with when like you're like, hey, dad, uncle, who was ever related to, I hired a cameraman. I'm gonna record everything, and they're like, you can't do that.
Yeah. So there's two owners. There's Frank and Brad, and Brad is more. Brad is very like image focused. He does the like Lotus stuff. He make sure he's like the PR side of the things. The numbers all are in line. You know what I mean? Very organized. And then Frank's like the gunslinger, by the classic car guy. You know what I mean? Like just moving weight, right? Um, and so Frank was always on board with it. So Earth Motor Cars actually had a TV show that a lot of people know about. A lot of people also don't know about it, and it was called Dallas Car Sharks. And it was basically like Earth and three other dealerships would go to auction. It was on like Discovery or Motor Trend or something.
I've seen that. No,
You think you have you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's where that started. So it wasn't very foreign for some of us. I'll tell you where the issue came in is Brad didn't understand it at first, and then I made a video, and which it was like live car appraisal, but it was a playoff, like it wasn't real because I didn't even think it was going to blow up. It was me and my buddy, and we had this Maserati outside, and it was a trade that we got in, but it was one of our inventory cars, and he was acting like the owner of the car, and
yeah.
he was like, "Oh, this is." I was like, "Dude, this is a piece of junk," and like our plate was on it, and so that is what started. But I was like, this car is He was like, "What do you mean? Maybe you'll get some girls if you had this car or something." And it wasn't, I guess, like professional, for lack of better words. Which I understand now, right? And so that's how that started. And then the next video I made, we get a 1-star review. Saying that, and it was the first review that we'd gotten, and it was saying like most of Alex and is making this place look bad. Most of the clients came from rags to riches, and it's always the people that don't like it that are going to say something before the people that do like it. So I was off to not a hot start, bro. It was like, you got to take these videos down. You got to stop doing this. And I was like, man, just let me, it's gonna hit, I promise. And it was just like, it was a brutal start. It still is not the easiest because of that, but
dude, we have such similar situations. I kind of went through the same thing. I'm not going to get into it, on camera here, but I made a funny video about a certain demographic. I don't even want to say. This video has been scrubbed from the internet. And dude, we had like
on Reddit. I'm gonna go look on Reddit. RussFlipsWhips.
We had like 80 people call my dealership.
No way,
dude. It went so viral, and dude, I ain't even gonna lie. If I'm If I'm running for president one day and they ask me about this video, I'm gonna stand on my stuff and say, you know what, that video was funny. I don't care what any of you say.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing about it. It was funny.
Yeah.
But like the owner of my dealership had like a mega heart attack, and he was like, "You can't record no more, like no more." And like it was tough, but we just sat down and talked about it, and I was like, "Look, I'll clean it up. This is doing more good than bad for us. Like, look at all these cars I've sold."
I know, right?
And
Yeah.
to your, like you said exactly, the people who are like mad about it are going to complain super hard. I'm like, these people don't live in our area. And I think one of the owner's really, really good friends, like even went to bat for me. And he was like, screw them guys. Russ is like the all-star of the dealership. Let him do what he wants. I saw that video. That video was great.
Yeah.
But I think, to a lot of people out there that are starting, they're worried about the feedback they might get. But sometimes you just got to deal with the haters,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a big thing, bro. It's like, dude, you have to have, like, people don't understand. If you don't have tough skin, dude, like some of these people with no profile photos, they will eat you up, bro. If you're not careful about how you like view yourself. Like, you have to have self-confidence before you, in my opinion, before you do what we do. I don't want to make it sound like we're, NASA technicians, but
yeah. But you're right though, dude. I mean, I get like half of my comments, like very early on, were like, "I just want to punch this kid in the face."
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, come on,
dude, I know. Somebody commented on mine. They're like, "I just can't stand this guy." Every time I scroll, and I responded back to him, I was like, "Well, you commented. Now you're going to see more of my stuff. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, good point.
So it's just funny, bro. It's just like, yeah, it's weird how the starts are very similar. But the funny part is that those 50 people that called, I'm gonna assume, okay, sorry, sue me, don't actually, but they probably aren't gonna buy a car anytime soon, probably can't buy a car anytime soon, and probably have no interest in doing business anytime soon. They're just like, there's just a certain point where it's like, dang, you guys are just like, why are you acting this miserable? And it's like, but it makes us look bad, and I get from an owner perspective, but I had essentially the same thing as you. Somebody had just said like, what are you talking about? And it was our high net worth clients that were like, what are you talking about? Like, people that actually buy cars from us. What are you talking about? This video is great, or something like that. And that's what kind of eased it out.
That's what matters. Those are the dudes spending money.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's like these people have never. And so, what's funny too is the guy that left a 1-star review was actually in the CRM like 3 years ago, and he didn't purchase with me. And I don't remember him, but it was like 3 years ago when I first started, or a year into me doing it for once. So I don't know if I did something a while ago or didn't get approved, or something. I think it's stemmed from there.
So how many cars a month are you generating, like just from social media? Car sales and purchases, because I know you kind of do a little bit of both, buying and selling.
Yeah. So that part is bittersweet. I'll tell you why. Last month, I think we did 7 or 8 sold units from it. When I say us, it's because the way that I present myself or talk or, do appraisals, because not many dealerships have someone like me, again, for lack of a better term, someone that could sell, buy, appraise all at the same time without being a manager or have ownership, right? So a lot of people assume that I'm higher up than I am, and so they don't inquire with me. They call the store or they put in a lead through cars.com, and I'll get messages after they bought the car saying like, "Hey man, like so-and-so is great to work with. Thanks so much. Like, love the car."
Doesn't that annoy you, bro? I've had the same thing happen to me.
I'm like, man, like, yo, like, what do you mean? But then the issue we had was the sales guys wouldn't tell me because they didn't want their commission to get stripped.
Dude,
and
I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now. I mean,
yeah. And I'm like, man, it's like somewhere I gotta get a little kickback for it, because I'm not a god by any means, but if I'm generating leads, we pay for leads, and they're buying cars, and there's conversion. I need, what am, like, hello, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, your dealership, I don't know you guys specifically, but I mean, you're probably spending anywhere from 15 to 50, maybe 100 grand in advertising, and you're doing better than all of that for free.
I mean, you know, plead the fifth there, but you're right. So yeah, dude, that's the issue. But I've bought a few units as well. I don't buy as much as like George and someone else. I don't buy, so like I don't buy anything that's less than, let's say, $30,000 to $45,000, right? It doesn't fit, I guess, the criteria. And I know it sounds bad, even though that we used to sell cars like that. We're a higher end dealership. So a lot of the submissions I get, probably 80%, are nice cars. It's just something that doesn't fit. And it's not something I'm in the position to go, you know, have a lane at Manheim, Dallas and run them through. I can't do that yet. So
now, have you figured out a way to place those cars and maybe figure out some type of pay structure to give those leads to people?
You're saying sales wise?
If you're getting submissions for people's like, I got a 2020 Ford Fusion, and you're like, yeah, that's not up my alley. Do you have like a place to source those?
Yeah, and I've tried. I sent it to some people. I'll tell you what my fear is my fear is that I hand it off to another dealer. I take my $500, $250 cut, whatever it is, and then I get, because you never know with these people if they're being honest about the condition. You know, if somebody pays $7 grand for this car, you got to pick it up. Moving Merch got his $500 cut and it needs a new motor. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm on the hook. So, and you know what I mean? So that's the issue. The short answer is no, I haven't really dialed that in yet. But I am hoping to in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, to put your name on the line. I did that just like off social media. I had a really good client of mine, and he wanted to help his sister trade in this Mercedes with a check engine light. And you know what? Completely my fault. I was like super busy, and I went out and appraised it because none of my managers were there. And I sent some pictures to this guy, and I was like, just whatever number you give me, I'm gonna pass it along. And he was like, "Did you drive it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, runs good, check engine light." I lied. I did not drive it. You know what I mean? Like 50 million things going on.
Yeah.
So I think he put like $4 grand on it. Dude, it blew up in like
dude.
Him driving it.
That's awful, bro.
I know. I felt so bad. You know.
Yeah.
Well, one of those things. What are you gonna do?
No, you can't. You just got to move past it, bro. You make it as a learning lesson. The problem is a lot of learning lessons cost money, and I don't think people understand that until you're there. You know what I mean? Like if that car didn't blow up, you probably wouldn't have. Who knows if you would have driven the next trade appraisal for $4,000.
Yeah. You got, dude. I made a bunch of mistakes appraising cars. I mean, I've made some good calls, definitely.
Of course. Yeah.
Made some like home run calls, but like one time we had this Mitsubishi Outlander, and the customer told me there was a scratch down the side, and it was like a $3,000 car I put on it. I hadn't seen it yet. And like this dude needed $3 grand to get approved, like work this deal for every penny. He goes home, gets it. It looked like Wolverine went down the side of it. I mean,
you're lying. Oh,
so it's on my TikTok, bro. We had that car for 1.5 years at wholesale. Like we couldn't get anyone to buy it.
No way.
Yeah. We kept like just like pushing it off because like COVID and like bad timing.
That is hilarious.
Like it was like a $500 car, and like he pulls up with it, and I'm like, and once again, none of my managers are there. I'm kind of in charge, not really. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, this dude's getting $3 grand for this. I got to roll a unit. Well, we're going to deal with the repercussions when my boss gets back.
Oh my God, bro. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I got in big trouble for that one.
That's pretty funny.
So you do a lot of really cool and interesting videos, just like on conversations with customers. You know, there was which one I really liked was the Bronco customer backs out.
Yeah.
The 200,000 negative equity Porsche customer, the Dodge Hellcat guy who was going to pull up and beat you. I mean, are these all real videos, or some of these scripted?
There's so now how the leads come in now is through so I have a website just for my stuff where you could submit to contact me or sell. Mm-hmm. Some of them, they're not scripted, but do I know 100% if the person on the other line is telling the truth? I don't. Right. Yeah. So like somebody like you or, you know, Joe Schmo could inquire, and I give you up a call. And contrary to popular belief, I am not always recording. So if you're watching this, please don't call the store, try to get on a video. But That's how that kind of works. There is a scripted one. But I said it's hilarious. Like I put in letters, this is not real. And
Yeah.
people are still like it. I don't know if you saw the Range Rover one when it was like, make sure all 5 cars are ready, waiting out for me. It was basically me and my buddy made a video, and it was like everything that a customer says that when we hear, we're just like, oh, and it's just like,
okay, big baller.
Yeah, I want to test drive all 4 of them, even though they're all the same car. They're just different colors. And that one, and then what was the other one? There's one more that is, but the majority of them are legit. Yes.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm kind of all for the scripted videos. I think it's fun. Have you seen I'm gonna butcher this, but like the Alfie private jet guy?
Yes.
And like those are 100% scripted. The one I just recently saw had like 30 million views. It was like, my daughter's a TikTok celebrity. We expect this for free. And like, dude, I'm watching it knowing it's fake, but still like getting my blood boiling. Like, oh, dude, I wish so. I'll pull up.
He does a good job with that stuff. You got to give it to him. But he's grown pretty quick as well. I'm indifferent about it because it's like, I don't know. I just didn't like, I stopped doing it as much because I wanted to, like, if you're just answering phone calls all day, like eventually you're going to run out of legit clients, and you're going to, whether you like it or not, be forced to just go to ChatGPT and say, give me a crazy scenario. So that's why I was like, after the 400 credit score ones were surfacing, which is actually why we got that 1 star. And that was like the start of my anxiety of posting. I remember I was, dude, I got I'm going to go off topic real quick, but I got I was at the golf range at like 10 p.m. at night, and I get a link sent to me, and it's my video on World Star Hip Hop. And I'm like, oh my God. And like the comments are like, just like, what's this guy doing? Like just all this stuff. And I'm just like, I put my clubs in my bag and I go to my truck and I just go home. And I'm just like, this is like not good PR right now. And then one of my buddies is like, oh, well, all publicity is good publicity. I'm like, not, I don't know about this one. But that's just side feed. What were we talking about? Sorry.
No, dude, and I got to build on that too, because I had a video like that. I made a video, and dude, looking back, it was so dumb, but I stand on my stuff. It was funny, and it was it was the water you give to the good credit versus bad credit customer, and it was like, the first customer was like, I'm an 800. And I like went to Sheets, and I just, or, you probably don't even know what Sheets is, but I went to the gas station and I bought like just all the Highline water, like Fiji and Smart Water. I had like 8 options. I was like, which one do you want, sir? You know what? Just have them all.
Yeah.
The one customer was like, can I get a bottle of water? And I was like, what's your credit score? Yeah. And he was like, I don't know, like 400. I was like, yeah, we're doing a credit at first. He's like, really? I'm just really thirsty, man. Anything will be fine. And I come back with a bottle of water that I bought on Amazon. That was like a 1-inch high bottle of water. And I guess
that's hilarious, dude.
The owner of my dealership, his like really good friend, like called and complained about that. And I was like, I mean, Mr. Biondi, let's be fair. The only reason he's offended is because he has bad credit. And we still give him the good water when he comes in. So
I'll give you the Fiji. Don't worry. Come on in and I'll give you it.
Dude, I have such ADHD. I don't even remember what we were talking about before.
Yeah, dude, I don't either. But
we were talking about scripting the videos. So we were talking about I asked you about a couple of your videos. So like that Bronco video was 100% real. Like that actually happened.
Dude, yes, but it happened to a worse degree. There's just some parts. There was like, I had to make it. So basically, like I had to sit down and talk with the owners, and it was like, you need to always be the good guy in the videos, which I agree with. But like, and I'm not disrespectful to clients, at least in my opinion. But they're like,
you were stern, which is totally.
You have to be, that was a thing. And they're like, make sure it's not, disrespectful. So there were some parts in it that I didn't put in that were more like, a little more, not emotional or more, I was a little bit more upset, but dude, that I didn't get paid on that deal, and and I waited so long for the car to get built, and we actually ended up refunding the guy the deposit just to which I can see why they did that, but it I don't know if I would have, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's a maturity thing, but I don't know if I would have done that because we took the time. We had the base of the car, so I don't want to make it seem like we went out and we went to the wilderness to find this car and then build it up. But we did a motor swap on it. We did interior work to it.
Mm-hmm.
We did wheels on it. We did a lot of stuff. And then the guy was just like, I'm not doing it. It's not in the cards anymore, basically. And there was
this a social media lead, or was this just like a lead?
No, just a lead.
Now, I feel like to everyone listening too, if you didn't see the video, essentially somebody wanted a custom Bronco for how much money?
It was $120,000.
$120,000 customized Bronco, and he was upset at the timeline it was taking to build.
Right. Even though we had told him that, even though we were actually on the earlier side of the timeline.
And to a lot of people listening, and I kind of want to know. So this guy calls you. Does he leave you a message, or do you just like say hold on and then tell your camera guy like, oh, I got something good, like get the camera out?
It's like they're cool prior being on film, and this guy wasn't from social media, but it's like a mix of both. It's because I always ask, even though I don't think in Texas, I could be wrong. I don't think in Texas you have to tell the other person, but from a professional standpoint, I always do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as like we had a previous video that I didn't post. It was just boring. There was a filler video basically of him telling us like what he wanted customized on it. So I knew he was okay with being online or whatnot. And I feel like I was like polite enough, I guess, in the video to I guess upload it, if that makes sense. But it was sometimes they're like, a lot of the times I'm pre-recording. So if somebody messages me through my site, I'll just have the video going, because in my site, if you put your number in, it literally says by putting your number, you're agreeing to be on film and potentially uploaded. So
and anyone else, do you tell them like this is going on TikTok, or is it just like hey, I'm recording this conversation?
Yeah, I tell them. I don't say TikTok. I just say, are you okay with being recorded and then potentially being uploaded? So I'll say uploaded because some people hate TikTok and we're like, I don't want to be on that. But I'm cool with being on Instagram Reels, and I'm just like, all right, we're gonna generalize the term upload instead.
Dude, that is like, I have like a couple of like older friends, and they'll scroll Instagram for days, and then like, but they're like, TikTok's so stupid, and I'm like, TikTok is like the better version. Like that's where all the good stuff is.
I know, man, and it's like I don't know why it's like being like TikTok famous is still some like cute like oh you have some followers on TikTok, and I'm like, man, like what do you mean, bro? Like it's the same as any other app, you know what I mean? It's just I have so many people that are. I had one of our guys, our IT guy, shout out John if you're watching. I'll send you the link. But he makes squirrel houses, like squirrel
houses.
Yeah, like that you drill to your tree, like, but they're like these like luxury squirrel houses. Like there's like 3 stories to them, and like option for a camera. And he has like 700,000 followers on Instagram, which is nuts. And I was like, dude, you should really be posting on TikTok. Oh, I'm not doing that stuff. And then I showed him, how much, are you monetized on TikTok? Yeah. I showed him how much like one of my videos made. And he was like, well, can you help me set it up? And I was like, dude, I've been trying to tell you to get on this thing for a little bit.
I noticed you don't have a Facebook page. Is that just something, or do you, that I couldn't find?
There's no reason behind me not having a Facebook page. I just talked to George about this too. Do you have 2 Facebook pages?
No, I mean, I have a Facebook personal profile.
But you have so how do I get, dude, I don't even know how to get, because if you upload the reels, it should shoot over to Facebook.
So what I do now, which is, I think it's a big difference. Because I used to like, it kind of cuts down on your Instagram views. So you got to like take a personal pride hit. So like my Instagram views, they're pretty solid still, but like they used to go on Instagram. Like let's say a year ago, my video would get 1 million views, and it would be like 500,000 Facebook, 500,000 Instagram. And it would show on Instagram as 1 million views. Now that I post them on Facebook, like specifically the Instagram video, let's just for that specific example, will show 500,000 on Instagram, but I'm getting 500,000 on Facebook. But now I have a Facebook page with 120,000 followers versus just an Instagram page. And you can monetize the Facebook page and you're kind of double dipping. And Facebook actually pays a little bit more. I just discovered this hack, which I'm like you do. Sometimes I don't like investigate stuff and like don't even look into the nitty gritty details. But I posted this picture with a customer and I like got a notification from like Facebook, like, rewards unlocked. And I made $200 from posting a picture.
A photo?
Yeah, a photo.
What? How? Really?
Yeah. I was like, I told my wife, because my wife's quitting her job to like work for me full time, or work together, I should say. And I was like, you're posting every picture of every customer I ever sell. Like,
dude, holy crap, man. You're like, yeah, if I discount the deal $200, I'll just make it up on the post that I Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Do you ever consider that when you're like negotiating a deal, like, oh, you know what, we should just make this deal because this conversation's been fire and we could probably just make it back on the monetization?
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily that aspect of it, but there's some I'm like, I'm like middle of like presenting a pencil or like talking. I'm like, I got it. Like, did you see the Trackhawk video?
I feel like I did. I was actually doom scrolling your content last night in preparation for this.
Right, yeah. I was negotiating on the phone for that black Trackhawk with the martini wrap. And like, I remember I had called him. It's my buddy Cal. And I had called him and I was like, this was legit. And I was like, hang on. I hung up and I was like, yo, come here real quick. And then I called him back. And that's why I made that video. I was like, because it's raw and unedited. There's no cuts in that video. There's no anything. It's a legit negotiation. Like 3 minutes, even though I don't like videos when they get that long. But it was just this. That's exactly what I did. I was like, hang on, like come back over here. I'm cutting you off. We're going to film this real quick.
Dude, I had a thought last night that I should have recorded one last night that I didn't even think of. Sometimes I get so in my sales mode, I'm not even like, I'm in my own little world. But yeah, I had a customer come in from TikTok, just like unannounced from West Virginia, which I just find so crazy that people just pull up. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm glad he came. So grateful that somebody saw me online to come buy a car. But like, yeah, I just personally don't think I would go anywhere without calling. Like,
yeah.
There.
What if you weren't there? What if you were sick? What if you're a doctor? You know what I mean? Just like
whatever. So like he has this 2024, dude. I'll make sure I start calling you on these cars too. But he has a 2024 GLC AMG. And once again, my managers aren't here. And I'm not appraising this car. Like I'm good. Like I don't want nothing to do with it. I tried doing KBB ICO. Wouldn't even put a number on it. So that's where I'm like, all right, we got to make a phone call. And I'm calling Benz and Bowties and George Saliba and just my wholesaler too. And like, this was like a little bidding war going on in this car. It was pretty fun. And the customer was just like sitting there like, all right, well, whoever says the most, I'm cool with. Yeah,
that's hilarious, dude. Yeah, those are that's a sticky situation to be in, dude. But so you got a sale from it then?
Yeah. George put it. I feel like I don't know. Benz and Bowtie says he usually puts more money on a Mercedes than George, but I just felt George is always like aggressive.
Dude, George bids very strong, man. George throws that money around, man. He's about it. So he definitely he is pretty aggressive with his numbers. So he's a good guy to call and stuff like that.
Dude, we had a 24 Navigator, so it was my fault. I had a lady call me. She's like, hey, Russ, is so-and-so, I bought my last 4 Navigators off you. I want this one on your website. I'm coming right now to pay cash for it. So she picks the car. I just go, okay, great. See you soon.
Yeah.
I ultimately will take responsibility because whatever, I guess you buy cars from me because you trust me to have knowledge. It was a long body, not a short body.
Okay.
And she didn't notice. I didn't even look at the car, dude. I literally called my detailer and was like, go clean this for delivery.
Yeah.
Like 3 days later, she calls me and she's like, you never told me this was a long body. And I'm like, oh, well, you kind of like picked it. So like, come on, let's just be fair. But
you picked it out.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll help you get out of it. So like the owner of my dealership was like really scared to like trade this car, even though it's our product. Like, I don't know. He just like hates current model year cars. Like he's just like,
yeah, I don't blame him.
which I get. So like he wanted to like trade it like 30 grand like off sticker. I'm like, dude, she had this car for 3 days. We cannot do that to her.
Yeah.
So I called George and he put like just 20 grand more on it than we were willing to.
Really?
Dude, and I was like, I haven't asked him yet. This was like a month ago. I've been meaning to ask him like where he placed it.
I see. You should ask him, bro. That'd be good to know. You should totally ask him that.
I mean, George is pretty tight. I hate to like have people reveal their secrets, though.
Yeah, yeah, but that'd still be cool. It's past tense. I don't know if it's. I'm sure it's gone. That'd be cool to know if you sold it and what he made on it.
Have you been getting recognized in public like pretty often?
Yes. Yeah. We had at the dealership, yes, but outside of it, it's like I'd say it's probably an average of like 3 to 3+ people on a given weekend. Like I'll just be at the bar and it's just like this, yo, you're the funny part is it's like I'm not like a real life character. I'm just you're that TikTok car dude, right? And I'm just like, yeah, man. Like there was some guy last week that was like so Terry was the guy with the 400 credit score. That was like the first video that blew up. And I just like I'm like sitting down, I just hear from like a few feet away. He was like, yo, did Terry get approved? And I was like, that was hilarious to me. Just like that somebody's making a reference. And I was like, dude, that's awesome, bro. Like, I wish I have no problem with being the TikTok car guy. It's just like, I'm not just like a content machine. I'm also a normal guy. So, you know what I mean? But
yeah, no, I feel it. I get you're that TikTok guy, and it's like I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. That's funny. That's good. I guess
it is crazy though, because like you're probably the same boat. Like 2 years ago, we were just car salesmen.
Yeah,
whatever your role was, and now it's like I go to Orlando, Universal Studios. And I actually put sunglasses on because like I had like 40 people like in like 2 hours like recognize me. And I was like, this is really cool. But like I'm also like worn out from this already.
Wow.
I couldn't imagine being a real celebrity. Like that would like
dude, like an A-list celebrity. I'm like, now I get why these guys are so now and I don't say now I get I sound like so ungrateful right now, but it's like now I understand why these people don't like paparazzi. I'm like, I couldn't imagine that if you know what I mean? If I'm feeling any type of way on a random weekend, like these people have TMZ in their face every single day. They can't walk into the grocery store without it. But it's awesome. I always encourage people to come up because like some people will text me or be in my live stream. And they're like, hey, was there on Saturday. Wish I got to say what's up. And I think a lot of it comes from like just having anxiety. They don't know if they want to bother me or not. And I'm like, dude, always say what's up, even if it's for a second. Don't just walk past, especially if you came in from following or supporting or something like that.
No, that's so true. It's funny because, I actually felt bad after that Universal Studios trip because I was like, yeah, I really shouldn't be that bougie that I like don't want to talk to people. Yeah. And that's actually been like one of my like recent, I don't do like New Year's resolutions, but like one of the things I'm working on in my life is to like actually listen to people because I'm really good at like someone's talking to me, I'm like, yeah. And I'm like thinking like how to get out of this conversation and like not truly listening to people.
Yeah.
And like I've been trying like really hard. Like when I was in Arizona a couple weeks ago, I met a bunch of people that followed me just at like the Andy Elliott event. Like I tried to like really like listen and like I'm just such a bad listener.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's easy to get sidetracked with that stuff too. And but I 100% agree with you. It's like I think like sometimes people will come in too. And that's something that I need to do too. But like sometimes people will come in and I don't know that they're from my videos, but I kind of have an idea. Like they'll little side eye at me or like, you know what I mean? Like just a little like look up and I'm like, instead of me going up to them and be like, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? I just like, I kind of wait and see if they're going to say something. And I'm like, I just need to say what's up, offer them a water or coffee and roll from there.
Dude, it's crazy because I can tell too. Like I'll tell anytime I'm with my wife, I'll be like, that guy knows me. And then like not always, but like 80% of the time, like they'll come up. You just get like that double take.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just, it's kind of weird how you can tell.
Yeah. Dude, sometimes it's humbling though. Cause like sometimes I'm like, there was this one scenario where I was like, oh, this dude's about to come up to me. and I was at the gym, and like he was just asking me if I was done with my set because he needed to get on.
You're like, come on, bro. I don't have time
I was like, all right,
like, it's all right.
Like, you think you're Leonardo DiCaprio and you're not. And I was like, you know what? All right, whatever. Like, you win this time, everybody. So, but
has anyone at your dealership like been like, you know what, Alex, I'm next. Give me 1 second. My dog's going crazy.
You're good, bro. No worries.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll just cut this part out. What was that question? Oh, okay. So has anyone at your dealership like been like, you know what, Alex, I'm up next and I'm gonna start making content? Have you like kind of spurred like almost like a content creation house at your dealership?
Like, yes and not really. I more on the no side. There's one of my buddies wanted to start an account, and he just came back, and he's a good friend of mine. But the issue was, it was like these videos were like literally just like mine, and I was like, man, I can't control what you're doing, but I was like, maybe you can make different type of videos instead of literally just doing, everything that I've worked. Cause I work my butt off to, edit a lot of these stuff and get to the point where I'm at. And I'm like, maybe you can just maybe do car reviews or something like that or something. But, and people don't get, everybody wants to have 100,000 followers, but nobody understands what it took to get there. So after posting 3 videos, when they don't go viral, everybody gives up, or 90% of people give up. And that's where I'm like, I didn't even have to say anything to begin with, because, 2 of the guys, again, no hate at all, it's just not their thing. We're like, oh, I'm going to start doing this now. Made 2 videos that got 500 views, and they're like, yeah, this is too much. The video is good, the audience is not good. And it's just like, I'm like, that's not how that works. So I don't know.
Yeah, people aren't willing to like post and then like analyze and post and analyze. And I feel like I can already tell I know the answer to this question, but the secret formula to how a video is going to go viral. It doesn't always work, stuff happens, but we have, through trial and error, I don't know, I've probably made 600 videos, maybe. I don't know, maybe more, 1,000. Yeah. I have no clue. But like, I have a decent idea of like what's going to work. And sometimes you make a filler video just because you don't have a good idea. But
yeah, correct. Yeah. There's definitely a secret. I'm like, dude, I've always been a gatekeeper, and I will forever gatekeep all my secrets in this game because it's nothing new. Like, if I have a good sushi restaurant, I won't tell it. Like, this happened the other day. There was a good sushi restaurant. Someone was like, yo, where is that? I'm like, nah, bro, like, that's my spot. Like, I'll bring you, but you have to walk in with the blindfold because I don't want you seeing the name type thing. You know what I mean? So there's definitely secrets of it, but it's like, dude, it's what you find out over the year of doing it, and all these failed videos as well. And then then like you said, you can figure it out, but they're still not all going to just go. There's no million+ view formula for every video. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. I think they think that like there is, and like, I'm sure some people haven't, like Mr. Beast figured that out. Right. But that's like that's a 0.00001% of your average creator making stuff.
Yeah. And he's preying on children too. So, you know what I mean? He's on children's mind.
Well, there's something else there that I didn't know. You learn something new every day, I guess. But yeah, there's a fair trade-off. Don't prey on children and don't go super viral. I'd probably take that one, the beat pill.
Yeah. And we're doing what we love. And like, I'm not saying Mr. Beast doesn't do what he loves, but like, I've seen like videos of him that like just make me question like it's such a production, and like 90% of his videos are staged.
Right.
There's like like a lot of those videos like are not real, where like somebody stays in a house for like 90 days. I've seen like TikToks debunking it and stuff.
Yeah,
So
sure. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I respect it because he just pushes out this content that is just like, even if I see something like, I don't know if he talked about like how much money he spends just on thumbnail creation. And he's got a
yeah,
whole team just for thumbnails
crazy.
about like, and it's just like, he switches it after this many days. And I'm like, this dude is seriously like figured something out, which is just like nuts. But yeah, so people like that, I mean, I respect it because of how much work it took them to get there. But you know,
They're
everybody's
dedicated to their craft though, and I can just talking to you, I can tell the same. Like you're a real car guy. You know what I mean? Like you would be doing all what you're doing right now if there wasn't a camera in front of you. You're just now
correct.
there's a camera recording,
Yeah,
doing what you're doing, and it has opened up the whole world to now see Alex,
yeah,
moving merch on TikTok,
yeah.
Instagram, soon to be Facebook, soon to be.
Exactly. Soon to be Facebook emphasis, man. Let's go.
I'm pulling forward, dude. The Facebook page is huge. You can even do artificial intelligence replies on Facebook. So if you get like a message on Facebook, it can be like, "Hey, this is Alex with Moving Merch. I get too many DMs, but here's a link to."
Really?
And you can even do like, I'm not smart enough to do this, but you can be like how like custom chat replies, like when you're on like let's just say you're on like a website for like a big company. It's like, which
Yeah.
problem are you experiencing? And you're
Yeah.
like reset my password, and they send you the link. You could be like,
Yeah.
if somebody's like, hey, I want to buy a car from you, send this link. Hey, I
Wow.
want to sell my car to you, send this link. Hey, I just want to follow you on TikTok, send this link.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
We're gonna
Facebook's
get
like,
into that, dude. Yeah, I don't have a. So do you have a creator page then? There's like a personal Facebook, and then there's like a channel you can make from your Facebook, or how's that work?
I think it's a creator page. I don't even.
Okay, I'm just gonna start. And so do you just when you post an Instagram reel, it shoots over, or you post separately?
Yeah, so you got to be careful because like
You're,
when you're posting on, I post to Instagram, and in the settings there's like a post to Instagram, and there's two options. It'll be like how you're posting now, just like automatically, like on the reels, or you like click a button and it'll be like share to your Facebook page.
yeah,
And Facebook is really weird, dude. Someone told this to me early on. They're like, dude, Facebook's gonna get like no traction, and then one day it's just gonna go boom. And like it's weird. It does that. Like I was like stuck at like 1,000 followers, then went to 10 grand like in a week, and then I was stuck at like 10,000, then went like to 50 grand like this. And I was recently stuck under 100 grand for like 3 months, and then just like picked up 20,000 on Facebook.
really interesting. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta lock into that.
Facebook's like not a ton of money, but like it's a solid, like for me, the numbers I'm doing, which aren't that crazy on Facebook, is like a solid like 2 grand a month.
That's solid,
Yeah,
bro.
just
Are
for
you getting paid
Facebook.
on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram's like about the same, like a little bit less. I think Instagram's like typically like
Yeah.
1,500.
I haven't figured Instagram out yet. I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't get the only platform I get paid on is TikTok right now.
Yeah, TikTok pays the most, so dude. I mean, the most I ever made off TikTok was like $22,000 in 1 month.
You're no way, dude. What?
I swear to God, in my life.
22?
Yeah, I made $22,000.
Oh
It was
my God, man. What is whoa. Wow, dude. That is impressive.
it was
Wow. That is
November of last
crazy.
year. It was just dropping banger after banger after banger with an RPM of like $1.39.
There's my problem, bro, is my RPM right now. Usually it resets. So I figured out some sauce with the RPM, bro. I figured out some major sauce with the RPM. I was talking to one of my buddies, and basically, I don't know if you've noticed this, you probably have, or you could fact check me, but the first it typically resets for me in history of the first of each month, because that's when these companies ad spend money gets rejuvenated and they start spending again. And then after the 15th, I've always noticed that it falls off. But dude, this month, my RPM, I usually start at $1 and it goes down from there. I started at like 30 cents. So I'm like tracking not a great month on TikTok. And I'm like, dang, that kind of sucks, because like I've been putting out some decent stuff that's been getting some views. So
I don't know why mine is like the lowest mine has ever been. When I've checked, it was like 75 cents.
you're kidding me.
Like I'm always around $1. I've talked to a lot of other creators. I don't know if it's because I'm good looking. No, I'm just
Maybe, bro.
just kidding.
That might have to be what it is, dude. I need glasses, I guess.
Yeah, it's the glass. I think I do a really good job of giving people a reason to stay to the end of a video. That could be it. Like I try to set the video up towards the end. I've never really cared about the money though. Like, I just enjoy posting.
Yeah.
Dude, 22 grand off TikTok, bro. I was pooping my pants.
Yeah, that's have you paid taxes on TikTok money yet?
Yeah, I paid last year. Yeah. I paid this year. Yeah.
That's what I'm not. I haven't experienced that realm of it yet. So one of my buddies was like, "You better start putting that money aside because they're gonna hit you. You're gonna get a bill, like a pretty big bill." And I'm like, I kind of forgot about that aspect of it, and I can't, if you IRS, if you're watching, I'm gonna pay it. So just relax. But we'll have to figure that out in due time.
And dude, I don't know how any car salesman that would have any ambition, or anybody in the car business would have any ambition about posting and here's, that I've made 22 grand. I've actually, I'm not going to give the exact number, but I've made way more than that in a month from social media. But that's from the TikTok, the social media, the brand deals, the in-person events, blah, blah, blah. But it's how could you hear that and not be maybe I should do that? I would really have to sell a lot of cars to do that. But what if I sold a good amount of cars, made my car sales money, and was just recording while I'm at work? Car sales is probably the easiest industry to actually be making content at, because even if you sold 3 cars in a day, you still might have 3 hours of downtime.
Yeah. Yeah. And I told one of my friends that too. I said he's a photographer, a pretty big photographer for sports teams. And I was like, the only advantage I have to posting to you is that in the car business, whether you make it or not, you have a new story every day to tell. Somebody did this, and that's why I think some people you understand, other people in the car dealership understand. But I could post the most normal video, and someone's like, "Stage, this is a skit," and I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand because you're not in the car business. You don't understand half of the calls that I get that I can't record." Because of they don't want to be on there, or it's just way too crazy, and it's just there's some intense scenarios that people don't understand because they can't fathom somebody actually trying to buy a $150,000 car with a 400 credit score. And then I kid you not, 2 weeks later after that video, a similar thing happens, and it's not from that video, but somebody's trying to buy a car just like that. But now they got a cosigner, and the cosigner's they're both matching credit scores. And I'm like, well, the cosigner's not helping you out here. And, no deal, of course. But
yeah, I get that a lot on it's funny because the videos of me talking where I tell a story of something that might have happened, people will comment stage, that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Which they do. But then it's almost all of my skits are based on true stories. There's a couple that are just made up in my head, but dude, I get ideas from my people. Where do you get them? I'm people. It's just stuff happens.
Right. Yeah. And that's a huge thing too. It's I got asked with that Range Rover video. I went into a store actually the other, last week, and the guy's just yo, bro, I love watching your stuff, bro. But I gotta know are they real? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, nah, you're lying. He was like, the Range Rover one was not real. And I was like, oh yeah, well that one's not. I said it wasn't real in the big text. Yeah. I was like, it's based off of stuff that happens. It's that one was like I was telling you earlier, just a combination of everything that somebody has said to me. That's nightmare customer or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's funny. It's funny because a lot of people just don't understand it, and that's okay. You can't really understand what you don't know about. You know what I mean? So.
What's your favorite video you've posted so far?
Favorite video I've posted? That's a great question, bro. Oh man, that's a really good question. My favorite, let's look, dude. My favorite video I think that I've posted is I think it's one that didn't even do good, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It did decent. I think probably my favorite video is gonna be the one of me buying the car. I don't know if you saw it. It was me buying there's 2 videos actually. Me buying the car at Mecum. I bought a GTR at Mecum.
Yeah, I watched that whole video. That was cool.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning, I was like, well, you can't fake that. And that was kind of a jab because I was like, what are you going to tell me? I faked it. Like I paid him money. This was in live television. If you watch this, I bought this car.
Yeah.
So that one did do good. And then my other favorite one is the Dodge Demon leak video. I don't know if you saw that when I pulled out the actual vegetable from under the car. But yeah. So we had gotten a Demon in, and it hadn't been driven in like a year and a half. And my verb usage, because sometimes, it's all part of knowing what you're doing. Sometimes I'll throw words in there that I know people are going to comment about. Like this whole thing is a game. Like there's like, it's a psychological game. So I called this year and a half old Demon. It hasn't been registered since 2023, a barn find, because it had dust on it. And these people were like, barn finds, like, you don't know what you're talking about, kid. And I'm like, just like, it doesn't hurt my feeling because I did that on purpose. And it's like, well, you played yourself, bro. And, but I had cut it to where it looked like I was revving the car cold. Yeah. And everybody's like, you're just this, like, it's just these comments. And, so I made a fault video, and it was like, one of my service my service advisor was like, dude, there's a leak in the Demon now because you were revving it. And we were like, we waited like 45 seconds, and I went to Whole Foods and I bought a leak, and I put it under the car and we put it up on a lift. And like 45 seconds of the video, he pulls it out, and I was like, this is a massive leak. Like, this is nuts. What are we going to do? How are we going to get the parts for the car? And what's funny is some people didn't watch the full video, and people are like, that's what you get. And I'm like, dude, you're so funny, bro. Like, watch the video and then comment. But
that's engagement forming them. People don't get that. Sometimes you gotta like intentionally kind of set up a video in that manner to get the engagement. And it's for the greater good, because you're gonna sell cars from it. You're gonna get people at the end of the day, you're gonna make more money, make a name for yourself, and sell more cars. Yeah. So it's like sometimes you gotta make yourself look a little goofy and do some rev quote unquote, correct, a Dodge Demon that has not been warmed up. Yeah.
It's just fun. And then like I wrote at moving merch in the hood, and that really upset people. But the full car had PPF, but I didn't think it was gonna upset people that much. So like afterwards, I was like, there's just another thing I did in the video to upset people that led them to comment. And I don't love doing that, but like sometimes I will, and it's just like there's just levels to it, bro. And it's like I don't think it's like deceitful. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just knowing how to play the cards right. And if I'm at the poker table, bro, I'm gonna play the cards right. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do the best of my ability and figure out a way to get an upper hand on something, whether it's posting or life just in general.
Yeah, that's extremely smart and wise. I want to leave it off with here to anybody watching and anybody that's watched the whole video, which ends up being like on a YouTube video, this all like 10-20% of people. Yeah. I want to give them a golden nugget. And, I want to thank them for getting it this far. And I want you to explain to them just in your own word, why they should be posting and how you think it's just an amazing opportunity to leverage social media in car sales, really.
Yeah. I think you should be posting in whatever industry you're in. And it's just like, even if you don't convert like to sales, you're making a personal brand for yourself, and you're building some sort of trustworthiness, especially in automotive sales. Everybody thinks that car salesmen are sleazy. They think we're scumbags. They think we're these lifeless, worthless pieces of junk. And well, a lot of people can see credibility from your video because they could see how you talk. They can see how you talk with customers, just see how you present yourself on a daily basis. And I think that's important, but there's no reason you shouldn't be posting. Like I don't want to hear like anybody's excuse of why I can't post, because I saw one of your videos, you going at like 5-6 a.m. sometimes, you said to
pretty much every Saturday.
Exactly. And I'm also after work, I'm up till 1 a.m. editing my videos. It's like you don't have a real excuse to why you're not posting. But my advice would be just to put the content out there. If you do it enough, one of them is bound to hit. If it's 1 out of 200, it's 1 out of 200. But just do it and just figure it out. I promise you, it's not as scary either. A lot of people have anxiety doing it. I just haven't ever had stage fright, so it's harder for me to give advice on it. But just put yourself out there, man. I promise you that more stuff's going to come from it, and it builds tougher skin. If you haven't been insulted enough as a car salesman, well, you're definitely going to get insulted more than that. But I promise you, you're going to become like bulletproof, and your feelings aren't going to get hurt anymore. So everybody should be posting. Everybody, no matter what industry you're in.
I agree, and I don't pull this card often, but once in a blue moon, if like the customers give me a tough time, I'll be like, "Do you follow me on Instagram?" I'm like, "I'll pull it up," and
yeah.
And like, dude, the tone changes when they're like,
I haven't even thought about that. That's awesome. That's good.
I hate playing like the social media famous card. I rarely do.
Yeah.
But I did do it like a couple times with like rude younger customers. Like it ain't gonna work with like a 70-year-old, but like I had some like bougie 30-year-olds who were like, "This guy is so beneath me."
Yeah. And it's funny. I kind of agree with you more on it, bro. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a lot. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't realize. I had one guy, one of my good clients now. He didn't even realize he had seen one of my videos, but didn't put a face to the name. And I had my microphones on my desk, and he was like, "Would you post on social media?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, this is my account. And he's like, "No way." Like, bro, look, I have this video in my favorites, and it just ever since then, $140,000 car.
I had a guy at my church. This is crazy. I don't even know if I told many people this story, or at least on camera. A guy at my church comes up to me and he was like, "Hey, Russ, there's this guy on social media. He looks just like you." Pats me on the chest. He's like, "He makes crazy car sales videos."
You're
and
kidding.
I'm like, I go, and this guy's like 70.
So he's not messing with you.
No, he's dead serious. He's like, I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." He like pats me on the chest. He goes, "I know, dude. Like, I could imagine, like, if I went to your dealership, this is exactly how this guy would ask. This is exactly how you would act."
You're lying.
He's like, he acts exactly like you, looks like you, and even like he works at a Lincoln. Like, dude, he is dead serious. I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I make those videos." And like the couple other guys in my church are like, "Are you kidding?" He's like, No. There's this guy on Facebook. Like, let me try to find his videos again. And he's scrolling through Facebook because he doesn't even know how to look people up. And I'm like, "This guy?" He's like, "Yeah, that's the guy." I'm like, "Dude, that is me." He was like, "Oh, I didn't think you. How'd you get on Facebook?" I'm like,
"No way." Oh my gosh.
Hey, I posted that. Like, it was like, that's why you need to be on Facebook. You can open up to like some like clueless 7.
I gotta do that then. I didn't even realize that. That is hilarious, dude. That is awesome.
Well, hey, thanks so much for being on the show, Alex. Just stay on for a few more moments after. To anyone listening, you need to be on social media. End of discussion. If this conversation didn't convince you, if you can't do social media, just get out of sales. Seriously, like social media is like doing follow-up. And if you're not going to do your follow-up, you shouldn't be in sales.